Hello, it's Kieran here and welcome to my biggest kart crashes of 2019, including this one, ouch, and some explanations of why I crashed and how you can avoid them. So for this one I made the mistake of slamming on the brakes when the kart ahead of me span and I locked up, and you can see the lock up here now where the tyre seizes up and then I'm a passenger. So the tip here is, if a kart ahead of you spins, then don't panic, progressive on the brakes and stick to the inside. So I normally brake here on that line in the dry, but you can see here about now I've applied too much pressure, I've locked up and I ended up skidding way beyond my normal turning point. So beginner mistake for me there. If a kart ahead of you spins, don't panic, easy on the brakes. Now for this crash, have a look at my hands and the turning angle I'm applying, because actually I end up going into a spin where the kart's turning left, I counter steer it to turn right, and I end up going into the barrier. Essentially, I ran out of space. So top tips here, it can be helpful to lock up going into a corner to get an extra bit of rotation, but be very careful of using that technique when your entry point is near the outside, because if you get too much rotation in than you anticipated, you run out of space trying to correct it. But that was a bit of a stupid mistake by me and I felt like an idiot. Do let me know in the comments if you disagree with any of these tips. Now this one, we're in the wet again in a SODI car, and basically I braked way too late, and actually you can hear it, the skidding sounds, and then I can't save it. So in the wet, obviously start your braking a lot earlier than you would in the dry and progressively build up. I tried to make a big jump in my braking point here and I got caught out. Probably might have been able to save it more by applying more turn-in maybe. I wasn't really turning into the corner, but you can see that I end up skidding quite a long way, so that's what happens in the wet when you slip tyres. Now that was the last lap of qualifying, so I had a reason to go for it, but this is the second lap in the race and I've spun, and luckily I've saved it a bit. Of course, a yellow flag, but again I've made exactly the same mistake, braking too late and not being able to get it turned in. So in the wet, keep your braking points early at the beginning. You're not going to win a race in the first couple of laps, but you might lose it, as I almost did here. And then progressively build your braking points forward until you get to your limit, and that's something I did in the DMAX race following this. Now this one here, again, there's a kart ahead of me. He goes into a spin, and again I panic. Basically I'm too hard on the brakes and just about end up doing a bit of rallying and getting past, but again I should have been calmer here and not gone on the brakes as aggressively as I did. When I've won the race in the wet, basically being at 95% of the limit braking and having almost like a 5% contingency if I slightly overshoot my braking point, but here I was well beyond that, so there's nothing I could do to save it. But my top tip in the wet, progressive braking, start early, build yourself up until you know that you're approaching your limit, and then it's a lot of fun. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed the tips. Like and subscribe if you want to see more karting videos.